All right, let's do a little midpoint action now. So think about what a midpoint is. If you want to find the middle of something, so you have two scores, let's say, and you want to find the middle of those two scores, what do you do? Yeah, add them up and divide them by 2. Because how do you find the middle of something? You divide it by 2. That's how you get to the middle. Exact same concept applies here. So to get a midpoint formula, we are going to take our x values, divide them by 2. That'll be the x coordinate, and your y values. Divide those by 2. That's your y coordinate. That's the whole purpose of a midpoint formula, is you want to find the middle value here. Cool, let's do it. If I want to find the coordinates of the midpoint of the segments with endpoints 8, -4 and -6, 1, I just want to find the middle of those two. So look at your x values first. If I want to find my actual midpoint, I'm going to take my x values of 8, and then I'm going to plus a -6, which if you want to write -6, that's totally legit. Divide that by 2. And then I'm going to look at my y values. I have a -4 plus 1 and divide that by 2. Cool. Let's keep working. So 8 minus 6 is 2 over 2 for the x value. -4 plus 1 is -3 over 2 for the y value. Then you can just simplify those. Now 2 divided by 2 works out to be a 1. But the -3 halves, you can write -1 1/2. That is rarely written that way, but you can go ahead and do that if you want, or I would suggest just leave it as a -3 halves. And that's it. Super cool, huh? How easy is this midpoint stuff? It's amazing. Okay, for this problem, I am going rogue from the book, because the way I'm going to show you I think is so much easier than how the book works through this, which in turn means the help me solve this will take you a different way. However, if you do the help me solve this on this problem and you come up with the correct answer, as long as your work is correct, I'm totally cool with that. The method I'm going to use is patterns in order to solve this problem. The book does it more algebraic on this. In my opinion, it's a waste, but do whatever you want. I'm cool with that. Okay, so I have 2 endpoints, a Q and a P, and I'm given the midpoint here. So my goal is to find the other endpoint. So if I have these problems, I have P here of the value 8, -20. I have my midpoint of 4, -4, and my ultimate goal here is to find whatever the value is of Q. So when you go through and you're working these problems, you look at the pattern. So if the midpoint is halfway between, and we determine that with our formula, right? Then I'm going to say, okay, what does it take to get, what can I add to 8 to get 4? Or in this instance, what can you subtract? A -4. So if the midpoint's in the middle, and I have to go 4, so I'm going -4 to get from 8 to 4, then that's the exact same thing that you're doing to get to Q. So Q in this instance is 0 for my endpoint. Do the same thing on the other side with the y values. -20, and then this instance I am going to add 16. So -20 plus 16 will give me a -4. You have to do the exact same pattern. -4 plus 16 gives me 12. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our answer. All you're doing is looking for the pattern. If the midpoint is truly in the middle, then you're moving the same distance from either side. Cool. So you can look at this problem and see that 4 is halfway between 0 and 8, and -4 is halfway between a -20 and 12. So it's obviously the midpoint. Good. Awesome. Midpoint is a lot easier, I think, than the distance because of the applications that we're doing, but both of these formulas are super easy. And on your midterm and your final, I'm going to give you both of these formulas. The more you know, the easier it is for you to do the math, but because this is that short 8-week hybrid class, I'm going to give you a bunch of formulas. And you can see your formula sheet underneath doc sharing. Cool. Great job.